Did you notice how I didn't say, oh, I'm right and Joe, no. I didn't say, oh, I'm right and Joe's wrong or anything like that, did I? All of our problems revolved around my mom. I mean, for Joe to say to me, this was before this whole tub thing fiasco, and again, I just feel like I'm being cursed, you know? It's almost like it's not even worth it, because it was all said, and then he suddenly, to him, I'm being unreasonable because he's just thinking of, well, you know, if I do these suction, he's like, oh, if I do the suction grab bars, that will be a solution where you can bathe your mom like more than, no, I just wanted her bathed. I wanted her bathed. I wanted it as safe as possible. Okay, and then it's done and over with. That's all. I don't want, and I did my own research, but I was leery of, suction grab bars before I read a whole thing on them. And then I sent that to Joe. He's like, oh yeah, no, I know. And I talked to my neighbor, and you know, you'd have to come and reattach them every 2 or 3 days. I don't want that shit. I want you to be nice and let me bathe her just once in your shower because you have dust and street bars and you have a flat shower. And mine is standing water at this fucking place. And she'd have to step in the tub. But the most things you have the grab bars that I would trust. But the fact is, he was having this idea, you know. But this will be better because, you know, she might slip in my shower and it's slippery. But it's slippery here, Joe. But then last week, it's like you have a soft spot for your mother. Well, that shouldn't be. She doesn't deserve it, or like whatnot. Like, you say that like I have a soft spot for someone I don't know very well. This is my mother, Joe. Of course I have a fucking soft spot for her. He just doesn't get it, because he wouldn't be like that. Okay. She's solipsistic. She doesn't care if I sleep. She's selfish, demanding, etc., etc. And in his eyes, it's intentional. It's not her fault per se, but also he believes it is her fault to a point. So he's torn because he's like, there's other people who have that where they are can't walk or can't whatever, or they're disabled or they're this or they're that, and they bend over backwards to try to, you know, make things better for the people taking care of them. And your mom's just the opposite. She's my mother, Joe. And I am always able to remember when she's not like this. That's the whole point. I'm always able to remember when she's the complete opposite of this. And you have a soft spot for your mother. What do you, like, remember, in the hotel, when I'm complaining that I'm not getting any sleep, he's like, you know what? I have to sleep. He's like, you have to sleep. He's like, everyone has to sleep. He's like, if that were me and I have to sleep, my conscience would be clear if something fatal happened. If it was fatal, yeah. Again, the missing piece of the puzzle is my conscience might be clear, but I will be traumatized. My conscience might be clear, but I will be traumatized. Much of my life, I'm traumatized. I just wanted you to let me bathe her in your shower. Because you had the grab bars. So I bathed her today. And it was fucking scary because there's nothing for her to hold on to. She had to trust me. I said, Mom, because she's been out of control. Okay? I mean, if I woke up this morning to her in the wheelchair when she just fell 4 days ago, and I had to glide her off the bed because she pulled that shit and it didn't work out, even though it had worked out, you know, prior. But she wants to prove she can do it. She wants to prove she can do it. And that is going to be to her downfall. better for me to live a lie and act like I'm never upset with Joe about anything? Would that be better? To do that just because the alternative is you know what I mean, I'm trapped here and have nothing and so dependent upon him, but I hate being so dependent on him. He's supposed to be my friend and I get nervous. I don't feel close to him anymore. If I feel that way, in every way that I feel, any way that I feel, is going to be attributed to my mental illness, how can we have a real friendship, me and Joe? I would never do that. When he says these things about me, it hurts me, but I don't say, oh, well, you're crazy and I'm not like that. But he does it to me. It's not a two-way street. And the fact is, he's not mentally ill and I am, and that I have a feeling that often will not work out. As far as he's concerned, he's been busting his ass for us, for me and my mom, put his own life on hold, jeopardized himself financially, his garden shut to hell, he killed himself for us. So I have no right to get upset with him about anything. And it's hard to maintain a friendship like that. Like I said in the other video, he has tons of compassion and empathy for me against my mom. Like, that really sucks for you, and she's just acting horribly, and how can you stand it? And I wouldn't. You have a soft spot for her, and et cetera, et cetera. I would need my sleep. I would, if something happened bad, like, it's not, but he doesn't understand, it's not an option. It's not an option for me to just let my mom fend for herself. It's not a soft spot on my part. It's just, it's not even a fucking option. Like I told the paramedic this morning, he's like, you're exhausted. I'm like, you can see how exhausted she's falling. She's falling asleep in the, he's like, yeah, but so do you. And I'm like, yeah, I'm secondary. He's like, well, caregivers are important too. I'm secondary. That's not something Joe understands. Not when my mom treats me like dog crap. He's like, so he wasn't going to understand how important it was to me to not have him try. Key emphasis on try, okay? They're not meant, I had to go and research it, but I instinctively was upset. And I was just thinking, oh God, I can't win. We had it all set. Why can't he just do it? Why does he have to come up with alternate solutions? Because he doesn't really want to do it. And to him, this is better because then he wouldn't have to do it again. It would take care of it in the meantime until I can get. And he's negative about me even being able to have professional grab bars installed. And I'm like, well, then I'll pay to have it all redone. And he's like, that'll cost you $10,000. No, it won't. I would never redone like the bath fitter type thing. Well, that is a bath fitter thing. Yes, but it was the person who lived here who did it. And they didn't put in grab bars. When you start with a bath fitter thing, they put the grab bars automatically. But I don't even think he's right because my contractor 6 years ago when that whole with the house stuff was replaced, she put one of those low cost things, those they call wraparound shower tubs or whatever, in from Lowe's. And she installed industrial strength grab bars in our shower. So I'm not sure Joe's right about that. But I do know I'm very, very justifiably leery of suction cup grab bars, and if you read the fine print, it warns you. They're just for balance, they're not to hang on. But the thing is, my mother ripped out that toilet roll thing that was in pretty tight to our wall back in Massachusetts because she was falling and she grabbed onto it, and I woke up and it was like that. And I'm like, what happened, you know? So you can't, it only takes once. The bottom line is he said I could, and then he changed his mind, but he didn't really change his mind like you can't do it. He came up with what he perceived, and I did not, as a better solution. Meanwhile, did he know if he could even do it at all? No, he didn't. And I didn't want to even try. That was the whole point. I didn't want to try, and I got upset. And then I just feel like I shouldn't have to beg and plead. And that's how I feel. I'm begging my friend, just let me bathe my mom once in your shower, please. And and truthfully, because the only way I have is financially to make up for him sacrificing so much and putting on hold him finding a job. He's retired now. He's afraid it's going to lose. I get it. But to him, you don't appreciate anything I do if you're ever just being human and expressing like whatever. I don't appreciate anything he does. And he jumps to conclusions even when I'm not. And I had to turn around. I'm like, look at you, just jump to conclusions automatically. And I wasn't even saying that. And you accuse me of doing what you do. And he's like, you're right, I did. This was last week or whenever it was, But you know what I mean? It's like, of course you fucking sacrificed everything, Joe. But I am still fucking human. And when I desperately needed you to set up Comcast, to try to set up Comcast, because it doesn't have to be an inflection on you. It could be a problem, a glitch with Comcast itself. And I didn't want to. I needed you to try immediately. When you, out of the blue, said, I have to do my lawn mower. It's good weather, and I have to do it, and I might not be able to get to Comcast till Friday. And I'm like, of course, I'm instantly, no, it's not because of me, it's because my mother won't be able to tolerate being here with no TV, and it'll be awful. And when they wanted me to come in, the reason I didn't pay them $100 to come is because when I set it up, I would have had to wait a week for somebody. And we were going to be here for a few days without a TV. Can you imagine my mother without a TV? She'll go fucking insane. But of course, when Joe says that, to him, he's going to be like, oh my God, I've done everything for her. And I tell her that my lawn is this high and I have sacrificed. He's thinking in his head, I've got to do this. And when I even try to say anything, he bit my head off and jumped down my throat. And I had to stand my ground, but I'm crying almost. And I'm like, Joe, leave us here all day with the movers. Go and do your lawn all day today. Because he was like, I have to have this many hours today and tomorrow. And I might not get your Comcast done until Friday. I'm like, please don't wait until Friday to try. If there's some kind of glitch and you can't do it, I'll have to call Comcast and we'll have to go the whole weekend and days and potentially a week without it. I need you to at least try as soon as possible so we can make sure you can do it. And in the end, he was able to do it. And he didn't wait, but he also left us here all day long. And even that was bad because I'm supposed to be watching the movers and they call me up to the pack rat container. Remember, my mother's never been here except for briefly for the walkthrough, okay? The walkthrough and then the final walkthrough. But when she stayed in the car for the final, she came in for the walkthrough, okay? Because that lasted like an hour and a half. You can't leave her in the car for that long. Well, she's here brand new and she's suddenly, while I'm trying to talk to the realtor or talk to Joe or do whatever, she started to go out the door of a place she'd never been in her life. That should tell you what I have to deal with all the time. What are you doing? I helped you up I held on to you with steps or whatever. What the hell are you doing? I wanted to go out to Joe's car, but you can't do it by yourself. Luckily, I stopped her. But you see, she's not well. And then, so we had a compromise. Joe's like, he was all upset with me. He was mad. He got mad. He was like, he's like, because I don't blame him for being mad. Again, I don't blame him. Okay? But anything, our fights, our arguments, whatever, all revolves around my mother always. I can go without TV forever. My mother will go crazy without TV set up, without Comcast set up. And then I'm like, it's a beautiful day today. Instead of doing it today and tomorrow you're on, can you just do it all day today? Right? Now, I said that to him, but he was already upset that I had the nerve to even be like, because to him it's like, nothing I do is good enough. I've done everything for you, and I tell you I have to do my lawn. It's too long, and I can't do it in the rain, and you're just going to have to not have Comcast for a few days. I went without Comcast, but it's about my mother, not about me, about my mother, not about me. Why can't you understand that? And he got so furious with me that what he didn't realize is that he didn't agree to anything. He can't be like nice. He wasn't nice. He was mad. And he didn't say, okay, well, we'll do it like that. We'll do it like that. No, in him, he's fuming inside that I have the nerve to be upset when he has the nerve to say he's not going to do it till Friday, possibly. And I said, please, dear God, don't wait until Friday. Every day you wait, if you're unable to do it, I'll be able to do it. You said you've never done it before. I'll be able to do it. You don't know it on Comcast, and I've seen it happen in Massachusetts where it's on there and it fucks up. It doesn't have to be you not being able to do it. It could be something to do with this house I need, and can't go without it. I just want to know if we have it. But I'm walking on eggshells with him all the time, okay? So he didn't say, okay, Laura, that's what we'll do. Okay, he didn't say that. So to me, I don't know what he's thinking or what he's going to do or whatever, right? So when he's not acknowledging me, and again, he's dismissive of it, like, who cares if your mom has to go without Comcast? You know, you have to suffer when you move into a house. Not understanding. And it's like that. That's how it was in the hotel. It's like, no, she's not understanding. I was desperate to not bathe her here. It's slippery in my shower. It's a flat shower, and you have professionally installed industrial strength grab bars. It's slippery here because it's a piece of crap and it has standing water and whatever. So I did bathe her. I was terrified. But I didn't have her stand up like I would normally do at Joe's or back home, and whatever, and hold on tight to the industrial strength grab bars so I can wash her backside. What we did is we got her in, we have her stand the entire time in the shower chair, and I did her hair, and we don't have the handheld, so the water came down on her, and I also got a pan and poured it on her. We didn't do the important buttocks. What we did was soaked the bathroom, of course. That doesn't matter. Soak the bathroom. Would have soaked Joe's bathroom. Probably you can clean up the water. Would have been much safer at Joe's. But he didn't really want to do it, and he's like, I get it, but you agreed, and then you backtracked, and then you just whatever, and then you turn on me because I'm upset when you're backtracking at all because I'm going through fucking hell with her. Anyhow. The thing before about the Comcast. It wound up working out, but it might not have. It wound up working out, it might not have. But in his eyes, see, it worked out and you got upset for nothing. No, you can't be nice about it. I have to walk on eggshells. And when he said Friday, this is Wednesday, when the movers were coming, and so we wound up staying here all day. But unfortunately, when we had a problem with the pack rat container and they called me out, was when my mom decided to go to the bathroom by herself and she could have gone down the fucking stairs. See, Joe should have been here, but I had to choose. He should have been here because I can't guard my mom from herself, and I couldn't even believe it. She went by herself. She's not supposed. And Joe would have been, but that's her own fault. You know, yes, she should choose and understand it's better to pee yourself. You've never been here before. There's stairs right there. I shouldn't even have gone to the fucking house. But I didn't even acknowledge it because we were so desperate to find something. Get out of the fucking hotel where I've been in. I spent 3 months. My mom spent over 6 months with me. 3 months. I couldn't take it. I didn't even think about the setup, because when you're trying to look at a house and the realtor is pressed for time, you're not going to notice every fucking little thing. Plus, I'm cognizant of the fact Joe came in first to look at it, and my mom's in the car with Joe, and then when she might have to pee, we have to be cognizant of that, and we can't, so even when we came here for the walkthrough, she was tired and wanted to sit on the guy's sofa. I'm like, Mom, you can't sit on his sofa. He lives here. We're not allowed to do that. But you see what I'm saying? That thing with Comcast, I stood my ground because it was horrifying to me to think of us being in this empty fucking house. Okay, Joe would set up the beds, of course, but without any TV for my mom. That was just horrifying to me, and I wanted to at least have it be as least as possible in case he couldn't do it. But to him, it's like, you're insulting me. You think I'm not going to be able to do it. It doesn't have to be you, Joe. Jesus fuck. It doesn't have to be on Comcast and something could happen. I just want to know. I just want it done. I don't want you to potentially wait till Friday. But anyway, the fact is, what happened was, when he didn't agree with me that he's going to leave us here all day, he said, okay, he didn't say, oh yeah, okay, then I understand, Laura, I understand you don't want to be out with Comcast. That's what I'll do. I'll go and try to do my lawn all day today, and that way I'll be able to vindicate all day tomorrow to you. And in the end, I also decided to book an extra day in the hotel and not be here when Joe was trying to do X, Y, and Z. I decided to book an extra day, and he gave me his word he was going to come the next day and dedicate. I did my lawn today, did as best as I could do. I'm going to give you all day tomorrow. All day tomorrow. He said it. Gave me his word, all day tomorrow. And then at 3 in the afternoon, he's calling me to ask about this, that, or whatever. And I'm like, what took you so long? Why? How come you haven't called me? Oh, I got caught up talking to my neighbor, and I just got here not that long. What? And again, I can't get upset. And when I do get upset, because again, he was supposed to dedicate all day tomorrow to make sure he could do it. Because if he can't, I need to call Comcast and arrange it, because we don't want to be without a TV. You weren't there, Laura. You don't understand. You gave me your word. I couldn't get away. I couldn't get away. See, it's always about, I'm not allowed to ever get upset with him about anything. I couldn't get away. I couldn't get away. Yes, you could have. If you had to pick us up in the hotel, we would have had to have been out by 11, 12 o'clock. You wouldn't have been able to pull this shit. I gave you all day to do the beds and to do Comcast. And you said you'd be there like at 10 in the morning, and I thought maybe you'd be there by 12, but no, I couldn't get away. You weren't there. Of course you can. You just didn't care enough to. Of course he could have gotten away from his neighbor. He would have had to if he was picking us up in the hotel, wouldn't he? I booked an extra day at the hotel just to give him the freedom to be here in peace and to do everything. And he didn't come over here until late afternoon because he was talking to his neighbor, and there was some talking to whoever. You weren't there. You don't know. See, it's always negating my feelings. Of course, you can get away from anybody if you needed to. You just had the leeway to not do it, and then I'm the bad guy for having the nerve to get upset with you because you have done everything for me indisputably for these weeks. See how it circles around? I am not allowed to get upset with him about anything because he sacrificed indisputably so much for us over the past several weeks. How does that a friendship? How can I not be allowed to express any disapproval or just any even hurt, any whatever? I was upset about that. Okay? I was upset about the day before we didn't establish what you were going to do. We didn't establish what you were going to do. And then when I said, I was saying, oh, you might not be able to do it till Friday, blah, 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 he got so mad at me. He got enraged, furious with me. Okay? Because in his eyes, we decided that he would do it on Thursday, and he would do his lawn today, but you didn't communicate that with him. He doesn't communicate with me. And then he's in a rage and furious with me. And then in the end, he should have actually been here because I shouldn't be left. My mom shouldn't be, she needs to be watched at all times, and the movers needed me to tell them where to put stuff, and then they called me out to the pack rat container. I was all upset because the movers 3 months beforehand had packed it horribly, and there was damage to my stuff, and, okay. That is Joe's attitude, and it, when I'm so dependent upon him, and I don't see how that can be a real friendship, you know? If his attitude is because he does so much for me, then he can never possibly hurt me, or I'm not allowed to express that he's hurt me or anything. I'm just supposed to keep my mouth shut and forgive silently and not let him know or have any feelings when it comes to him because he's done so much for me. I love you, but you're hurting. And you have no compassion, empathy, understanding when it comes to my compassion, empathy, and understanding or willingness to sacrifice myself for my mom. He wouldn't do it, and he doesn't get it. You're killing yourself. You're no good to her. It's reality until we can get it changed. I can't snap my fingers and have it changed, Joe. And if I do get it changed, it's going to fucking kill me, and you're not going to understand that either. You're not going to be the type of friend that See, everything I'm saying now, I could never say to him. He'd shut me down. He'd dismiss it. He's not going to hear it. I do care about you. I am compassionate. I am whatever. You're not getting it. My mom won't let me have feelings. She expects me to be a fucking robot. And even, you know, I shouted for me after I've done everything. For her mom, I told you I have to go to the bathroom, or I have to eat, or I have to whatever. But then Joe's not letting me have my feelings either. On a different thing, you know, or at a different level, on a different whatever. It was Comcast, that whole thing was, in his eyes, he'd agreed to what I said, and then later he said, yeah, we'd agreed that I was going to do that, but you didn't tell me we agreed. You just were like this, and then furious with me when I said, thinking still we might have to wait until Friday, and you didn't acknowledge me. You didn't agree to it when I suggested that out of desperation. And then you're just assuming I know that you agreed to it. I don't know shit when it comes to you. I don't know shit when it comes to Joe. He doesn't communicate. He thinks I'm just supposed to know that whatever, or... Did have a right to be upset. You gave me your word. I'm going to give you all day tomorrow, and then you don't go till 3 in the afternoon because you're chatting with your fucking neighbor.